The Hindu mythology tells us that dance have been conceived by Brahma, who inspired sage Bharat Muni to write the Natya Shastra, the treatise on performing arts, from which a codified practice of dance and drama has emerged. Bharat Muni used patya, words from the Rig Veda, abhinay, gestures from the Yajur Veda, geet, music from the Samaveda, and rasa, emotions from the Athar Veda, to form the Natya Veda, a compilation of knowledge about dance. As we all know, Lord Shiva, Goddess Kali, Lord Krishna are typically represented in their dancing form. Shiva in Tandava, which is the cosmic dance, Kali in her dance of destruction, and Krishna's sensuous Rasa Leela with the Gopikas. Of all the lords, Krishna is the most accomplished dancer, adept in every form of life's arts. His dance is the consciousness that witnesses every pain or pleasure. He is the perfect nartaka, that is the dancer, and also the perfect rasika, connoisseur of fine arts. He represents all the arts, complete with all the flavors of life. Krishna dances with the whole universe, with the stars, sun, planets, rivers, mountains, men, women, you name it, and all, and in a total sense of egolessness. Krishna says the prerequisite to attain true freedom so as to dance with complete abandonment and vibrate with the cosmic energy of the universe is the death of one's ego. And it's only through this egoless abandonment the dancer becomes whole with a Brahman. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, hello and pranam, and welcome to the 12th episode of O Odissi One World. This platform of O Odissi One World was conceived and created by Mr. Siddhartha Nayak to give an equal and unbiased opportunity to both gurus and sishyas of Odissi to perform and also to promote Odissi dancers from all corners of the globe. This is an effort to build up a community where proponents and patrons of classical Odissi dance and music can meet, greet, collaborate, and democratically exchange ideas and views and present it to a much larger world audience. I would now like to welcome Mr. Siddhartha Nayak and request him to speak a few words.
Namaskar. Thank you, Madhumita. So it's a long journey for me. I'm not from Odissi artist area, but I born and grew up in city of Cuttack in Odisha and saw Kalabika Kendra and Mr. Babulal Doshi very close to me when I was child. So I was inspired. Not the technical side of Odissi performing art, but the management side of Odissi. So I never got opportunity when I was in India because of professional background. When I moved to US, I thought this is the time to give back something to Odissi, and this beautiful form of performing art. Going forward, last 7 years, we formed Odissi Academy, a non-profit organization in Houston, Texas, with some like-minded contributors, both financially and time and management resources. We started this beautiful organization to promote Odissi in a different aspects of area. The first one is teaching Odissi in a very authentic way by bringing gurus from India for a year-long stay in Houston. We also do lots of shows. We get local government performing art grants because we are a non-profit organization, and we are trying our best to promote Odissi not just from one Gurukul style, but overall aspect, combining students and teachers and giving them opportunities. So far, before COVID, we are actively involved in only United States boundary, but COVID gave us an opportunity to break the boundary and go all over the world. And that's why for last 12 months, and this is the 12th episode of Odyssey One World. We will continue our journey. We have planned in the month of June and July, we have a physical Odyssey One World happening here in the United States, provided COVID is not progressing rapidly. Fortunately, last month we had Odissi show. About 150 to 170 people came for watching Odissi Nitya Ranjana here in Houston, physical show in an auditorium. So we hope world is getting better, and we will continue our journey to progress or propagate or popularize Odissi with the help of every stakeholder, not only just artists, with gurus, with students who are learning Odissi. They can come and watch and inspire or do all sort of helping in the source. Musicians, whether online or offline, we need to support Odissi music. Costume makers, uh, Sahiya, other ornament makers, Ghungru makers. I didn't know until recently there are different kind of Odissi Ghungrus, and we need to promote that as well. And more like me, I need more Odissi administrator who can connect people in different part of the world and take it further. We need support from media, newspaper, online media, and we also need contributor. So finance is the main strength. We hope we will continue our journey spreading Odissi, and we hope others will learn from us and we'll collaborate and we'll create one Odissi world. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nayak. And we hope, yes, that this platform remains very relevant to all the stakeholders of Odissi. Now let's move on to our judges. We all know them, and a very, very warm welcome to both of them. And they, of course, are stalwarts in their respective fields and have made such tremendous mark in the world of dance. They hardly need any introduction, actually. But at first, I'll go to Padmashree Ramli Ibrahim. You're the chairman of the Sutra Foundation and the artistic director of the Sutra Dance Theatre. You have been in the forefront in conceptualization and execution of many innovative ideas and choreographies in Odissi and other classical dances all over the world. So, Ramli bhai, I would like to ask you, just please take us down history and give us a brief on the importance of Natya Shastra and Jayadev's Gita Govindam in the evolution of Odissi dance.
I guess one of the major criteria for deeming a work classical is to follow the precept of Natya Shastra. So now all the eight classical forms in a way follows and one of them is of course the conceptualization of the work. That the body of work must have a strong body of
Ramli bhai, just to, your voice is cracking, so we can't hear you very clearly. I think you need to come a little closer.
Yeah. So as I said, the Natya Shastra is important because it's one of the criteria to deem a classical work. So all the classical works have got a strong, it follows the Natya Shastra in its major precepts. And one of the other things is that it has a very strong body of Sanskrit as well. The Sanskritization has always been very important to make a work classical kind of thing. So thus, I think for Odissi, the Gita Govinda is one of the, not just the fact that the Gita Govinda is also an important work in the Jagannath temple. Jayadev is created the work at the Jagannath temple. He used Padma Abonti. So I think that Natya Shastra and Gita Govinda has always been very important in this. But increasingly after that, I feel that there is a strong thing also to look at the indigenous literature. So, as some of us know, that the Oriya Abhinaya has increased its importance, and thus many other treatises has come out from Odisha, such as Abhinaya Chandrika and all that kind of thing. Has kind of I have read, there is a lot of controversy about the Abhinaya Chandrika, but I think the importance of the indigenous literature is important. A special now a special branding of Oriya-ness in this, and I think this is important. But certainly Natya Shastra is one of the greatest compendium of book in the world that is so advanced analysis of aesthetics, especially the rasa theory, all we can look up to. And the Gita Govinda provides the poetry of this in relation to especially God Krishna. But I must add though that some of our strongest items are not. So now there is also a question of Maharis are not just in Bhagavath, but Maharis are also in other peoples in Bhubaneswar, which is a Kshetra for Shiva. So these are new things that has come out in terms of see that scholars are coming up with ideas. Areas like we have just done a work called Ganjam, inspired by Ganjam and inspired by this folk work that has come out from Ganjam, and also some of the medieval poets that has.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was really very exhaustive. So next we move on to Guru Sharon Lowen. Guruji, apart from being a highly accomplished dancer and recipient of many awards, you are also an academician, scholar, and author of many books on Odissi. So how would you describe the close synergy between Lord Krishna and Odissi dance and music?
Thank you, Madhu and Siddharth. Perhaps also it might help if you mute your mics because I hear the sound coming in and out.
I can hear you clearly.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I don't consider myself a scholar, but I am simply someone who's very interested in the dance and has tried to share some of this both through learning, teaching, performing through my NGO Manasa, Art Without Frontiers. But I mean, on the subject of Gita Govindam and Odissi, as Ramli had said, Natya Shastra is a core foundation, and it does say that the dance of Andhra Pradesh is known for its Abhinaya. We all understand that the classical traditions we have today are all neoclassical. They've all been reconstructed over the last centuries and centuries. So there's not always a direct line that the Abhinaya were inspired by Guru Mohapatra was there throughout the millennia. We all also know that the dance throughout India seems to have come primarily from a spiritual consciousness. So in the Natya Shastra, when it speaks of Margi and Deshi, the definition of folk and classical is actually a bit crude. Deshi means entertainment, which includes folk, and it includes much of what we see in classical dance today. Margi is the dance that evokes rasa and that is trying to be something that will be somewhat transformational. So when we come to the stage, we're very fortunate today that we have the antecedents of the dances of the Maharis of the Gotipuras that were dedicated to primarily Vishnu. Of course, the dances in Orissa in the Shiva temples were very significant, and there's a great deal of dance that was part of the tantric Buddhist Devi tradition that is there. But we're most familiar with the dance that we know was performed in Jagannath Puri by the Maharis, and the only songs that were sung and danced were Gita Govinda. So Jayadev was not only a devout Vaishnava, but at his time, the Sahaja Tantric Vaishnavism was not as far apart from Gaudiya Vaishnavism as it has perhaps become today. And so the mystical aspect as the way of showing non-duality through Radha evolving in Gita Govinda, so that we not only are celebrating the flavor of the Bhakti Shringar and imagining oneself as a gopi or Radha, but also the fact that this almost perfect devotee soul seeking union with the divine, or in some cases maybe being the instructor, Radhesham, there's many interpretations, but that until she gives up her ego of having the divine Krishna only for herself, only then can she achieve the union, the ultimate consummation of the divine. So that's a very important lesson beyond all of the joy and the bhakti and the feeling of expression. So, of course, we have the dance of the Maharis performed in and inside, inner sanctum, outside during festivals, during Rath Yatra, and then, of course, as part of the medieval shift throughout India in the Bhakti movement, with the wonderful Odia poets who then made all of this expression through dance available to the public in the dance of the Gotipuras. And so our dance today is drawing on the opportunity to create a sacred space that can be transformational, like a lens for the audience to have a darshan. But it's truly up to the dancer and their guru as to whether, out of the wonderful richness of opportunities in the dance, they want to focus on this aesthetic spiritual expression, or they can merely use the wonderful dance movement and have a pyrotechnics, beautiful patterns moving in space. And these were all wonderful because there's nothing wrong with being Deshi. And being on the stage away from the temple, we have every aspect that's appropriate for the artist to use. And depending on one's own interpretation or personality, you can aim for this higher dimension of offering a performance that can be transformational. And you can also offer a wonderful aesthetic performance without that kind of an aim.
Wow, thank you so much. I mean, thank you both for this amazing depth of knowledge and insights. Guru truly are Gyan Bhandar, that is the storehouse of knowledge. Every episode has been such a learning experience. Thank you so much. So now let's move on to our dancers. The first dancer that's performing for us today is Zofia Lichota from Poland. She started learning Odissi from 2006, and in the initial days, her teachers were Mrs. Sabina Shweta Sen and Pompey Paul from Kolkata. And later she came back to India on an ICCR scholarship and learned Odissi under the tutelage of Padmashree Guru Ranjana Gaur. Zofia has showcased her talent at the Khajuraho Festival, the Odissi International Dance Festival, amongst others. She has also performed in various cities across Poland, like Warsaw, Sosnowiec, sorry about the pronunciation, Krakow, Wrocław, etc. So, ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Zofia Lichota.
तारी झम तारी ताजेना आजम तारी का झेड़ूता तारी झम तारी ताजेना आजम तारी का झेड़ूता तारी झम तारी ताजेरा ताझम तारी ताजेरा तारी जम तारी ताजेरा ताझम तारी ताजेरा तारी जम तारी ताजेरा ताझम तारी ताजेरा राधा रानी संगे नाचे मुरली पानी 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 आहा की सुंदर दिशे आहा की सुंदर दिशे त्रिभंग ठाणी बांक चाहाणी कामिनी जिणी राधा रानी संगे नाचे मुरली पानी राधा रानी संगे नाचे मुरली पानी कटी तटे किणी बाजारे किणी किणी 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 छंदे छंदे उपुटाई छंदे छंदे उपुटाई छंदे छंदे उपुटाई छंदे छंदे उपुटाई राधा रानी संगे नाचे मुरली पानी राधा रानी संगे नाचे मुरली पानी गुप्ता मंडपरे हरि गोपी बाकर धरी गुप्त मंडपरे हरि गोपी बाकर हरि खेलुछंती हरि करे धरी पिचकारी हरि खेलुछंती हरि करे धरी पिचकारी आहा की सुंदर साजे কি সুন্দর সাজে রাধিকা রানী গোপ তরুণী মন মোহিনী রাধা রানী সঙ্গে নাচে মুরলী পাণি রাধা রানী সঙ্গে নাচে মুরলী পাণি নানা রঙ্গ অঙ্গে বলি হেউଛନ୍ତି বনମାଳି নানা রঙ্গ অঙ্গে বলি হেউଛନ୍ତି বনମାଳି নাচুଛନ୍ତି ঢଳି ঢଳି নাচুଛନ୍ତି ঢଳି ঢଳି নাচুଛନ୍ତି ঢଳି ঢଳି ଏକ କୁଆରେ କବଳି ନାଚୁଛନ୍ତି ଢଳି ଢଳି ଏକ କୁଆରେ କବଳି ଆହା କି ସୁନ୍ଦର ସାଜେ ଆହା କି ସୁନ୍ଦର ସାଜେ ରାଧିକା ରାଣୀ ଗୋପରମଣି ଚାରୁ ହାସିନୀ ରାଧା ରାଣୀ ସଙ୍ଗେ ନାଚେ মুরলী পাণি রাধা রানী সঙ্গে নাচে 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 মুরলী পাণি
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for introduction. I feel very happy and very honored to be here today with such eminent gurus. And I'm very happy to present Odissi today for you all. And yes, I hope we can all discuss about Odissi dance and about future of Odissi dance. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Zofia, that was really an entertaining performance that you gave us today. So tell me, what attracted you to Indian classical dance and Odissi in particular?
Okay, actually I started from contemporary dance and I was attracted to dance from a very young age. So firstly it was contemporary dance, but when I've seen first time Indian classical dance, I just completely fell in love with it. And there are a few points why it happened. So firstly, Indian classical dances have very interesting rhythmical patterns, and dancer is collaborating with musicians or with music. So that was for me very interesting, because in Western dances we don't have this cooperation. We are just following the music, but we are not creating the music. So when I've seen first time Indian classical dance, it was like something really different for me and something really interesting, that I can not only dance, but I can also create the music. So that was the one thing. Another thing is that in Indian classical dance, all details are very important. Each movement, each finger movement, eye movement, head, neck movement. So again, when I was dancing contemporary dance, I've been learning how to cover the space, how to make my movements wide and bright. And it was for me something really different when I've seen classical dancer and she was having control on each and every part of her body. And I was thinking, how is it possible and how she can make it so fluid and beautiful? So I was thinking, yeah, I just want to learn it because it's so amazing and so beautiful, and I don't know, it just kind of perfection. So that was another thing. And one more thing, of course, is a dramatical aspect of Indian classical dances. Again, when I was dancing contemporary dance, I was expressing my feelings through my whole body. There was no expression of my face, like we do not have it. And when I seen a classical dancer and she was showing the story by her face expressions, showing her emotions like we all do in a real life, that was also very interesting for me. So if we are talking particular about Odissi, so of course, for me, very interesting part of it is a aesthetical aspect of the movements, like this fluidity and gracefulness that really attracted me towards it. And also one more thing is that in Odissi, we have very beautiful music. Like personally, I really love it. And when we are thinking about Pallavis, for example, we have very joyful, beautiful Pallavis, but we have also nostalgic Pallavis. And I don't think we can find this kind of music in any other classical style. So there are many things which attracted me to classical dance, to Odissi dance, but that's the few things which really like sit in my mind. And I just wanted to share it with you.
Okay. So you have been performing in various Indian festivals across Poland. So how does the Polish population take to Indian classical dances and especially Odissi?
Yes, so when I applied for ICCR scholarship, I wanted to make sure I will learn properly Indian classical dance, particularly Odissi, because I applied for Odissi. Because what happens in Europe is that people will go to 2 or 3 weeks lasting workshop. They will learn some choreography. They are coming and performing. And this is, I don't like it personally because I think we have to put a lot of time, lot of effort to actually perform properly Indian classical dance. And also, audience cannot value this art if they cannot see the proper way how to perform it. So the first thing which I think I want to do is to bring the real beauty of classical dance to Poland and to Europe also. So another thing is that when I perform or whenever I put something on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, I make sure people understand what is it about. What is the meaning of the song? What is the origin of a dance? I try to explain it because in Poland, people they don't know classical dance, and you have to bring them the understanding of it. So that's the thing which I'm working on. And also, I'm still in touch with my contemporary dance field. And we try to cooperate to bring Indian classical dances to Polish audience. For example, we created a dance drama based on the Jungle Book of Kipling.
Okay.
And we created a character of a sculpture which is coming alive. And that was my character as an Odissi dancer to present Odissi dance in such way people can understand also its origins. And I guess that was a really nice idea because we perform it for kids. So for them, it was like natural to understand how it happened that suddenly sculpture came into life and we started dancing. So actually, you have to think a lot how to bring Odyssey in Poland so people can understand it and can relate to it. It's not so easy, but I just try firstly bring a good as much as possible, as much as I can, the quality of my dance, and secondly, I just make sure people understand the art. So that's for me the most important.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank
So
you.
next, okay, so next we move on to our next performer of the day, and next performance is by an Odissi dancer from Bangladesh. Her name is Proma Abonti. Proma has done her masters in Odissi from Rabindra Bharati University in Kolkata in West Bengal. That's in India, and she has 30 years experience in the field of Odissi. She has learned creative dance with specialization in Tagore dance drama. Currently, she is the director of Odissi and Tagore Dance Movement Center, Chittagong, Bangladesh. She has many solo and group dances to her credit in Bangladesh, India, and other countries too. Apart from the ICCR scholarship, she has also received the Uday Shankar Scholarship and the Rabindra Bharati Scholarship. She has been awarded with the Best Dancers Award at Anushila, Chittagong in 2003 and Paushali Mukherjee Academy Award in 2011. Presenting to you Proma Abonti from Bangladesh.
Odissi is also called the dance of gods. It is the intrinsically passionate style of the dance that grew from the traditional temple dance. It has charm, grace, lyricism, and sensuousness. In the words of the noted Hungarian Indologist Charles Fabry, it is the most perfect Indian classical dance form. Lord Shiva, known as Nataraj, is the god of dance. Shiva is the god of creation and doom. Somebody says Nataraj, somebody Ganesh, or Jagannath. The item Shiv Vandana divided into three parts: Bhumi Pranam, Guru Vandana, and prostration to the audience. Dance constructed by Padma Vibhushan Guru Kelucharan Mohapatra. The inventory number Shiv Vandana, Mishra Raga, Tal, Ekotal. Performing by Odissi dancer Proma Abonti, disciple of Padma Vibhushan Guru Kelucharan Mohapatra and Guru Paushali Mukherjee. Shiv Vandana. Pallavi retains a special place in the Odissi recital. It is an item of pure dance that develops and grows as the variations in melody and rhythm are constantly expanded along with the movement. It begins with simple movements of pure dance and develops into complicated steps interwoven with rhythmic syllables. Raga Yagmadanda, Tal Ekutali, Sangeet, Padmashree, Raghunath Panigrahi. Vocalist Devashish Sharkar. Yagmadanda Pallavi.
Tajam tatari jam, tajam, tajam, tajam tatari jam, tajam, tajam, tajam tatari jam, tajam tari tajam gita gita daga tari gita gita daga jam tajam 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 gita tajam tari jam tajam tari jam tajam tari jam tajam 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 tari jam sani sani dani dama dama tari tajam jam tajam 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 tatar madada mama ni da sa sa ni sa re sa kare sa ni da tajam tatari jam tajam 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 tatari jam tajam tatari jam tajam 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 tatar sagama 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 mama
takita 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 de ta
madani 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 ni ni
takita 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 de ta
dani sa dani sa dani sa 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 sagare dani re dani da dani da mani da magada magare magare sagare da dassa sagama gamara madani dani da sare sagare dani ni dani re dani da mada mani da magare gare magare sa gare sare sare sane dani da madani da magama dani sa gare sare sare sane dani da madani da magama dani sa gare sare sare sane dani da madani da magama dani sa daga madani daga madani sa tajam tatari tajam 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 tatari jam tajam tajam tari tari nam gita gita daga tari gita gita daga jam tajam 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 gita tajam tatari tajam tatari jam tajam tatari tajam tatari jam tajam tari jam tarim tari jam tari jam tajam tari tajena sani dani da madani sani da gagare sa tajam gita daga tajam gita daga dim 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 ena gita daga jam tajam tari jam jam tajam tari jam jam tajam tari jam sagama dani sagare dani dani da tajam jam tari jam tajam tari tajam tari jam tari jam tari jam tari jam tari jam tari jam tajam tari jam jam tajam tari jam sani da badane da dani samagama gare sani da sa ni da madane sa magama dani sa dani sa gare sani sa dani sa dani da magama dani sa sagare sani re sani da dani da mani da magada magare magare sagare sa sagama gama madani saga saga ma gama gama ni dani dani da dani 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 da ma dani da ma saga gama da dani da tajam tani jam tani jam tajam tajam takir tajam tajam takir tajam tajam takir tajam tajam takir tajam Trekrajam 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 tajam tajam jam jam trekrajam tajam tajam jam jam trekrajam tajam 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 trekrajam tajam 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 tari jam tari jam tajam tari jam tari jam tajam tari tajana sani dani dama dani sani dama gagare chanu kire daga 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 dim dim jena kata daga jam jena kata daga jam jena kata daga jam tajam 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 tari jam tajam 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 tari jam tajam tajam tari tajana Sagama sagama gama da gama da madani madani dani da sa sa sani da sa sa ni da ma ni da ma ga da ma ga da sa sa sagama da ma da ni sa sa sani da ma ni da ma ga da ma ga da sa sa sani da ma da ni sa 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 sani da ma da ni ni sani da ma ga ma da 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 ni da ma ga re ga sa 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 sani da ni sa ni da ma da ni da ma ga ma da ma ga re ga sa sani da ni sa ni da ma da ni da ma ga ma da ma ga re ga sa sani da ni sa ni da ma da ni da ma ga ma da ma ga re ga sa da ni sa gama da ma re ga ma sa da ni sa sa da ni sa da gama da ma re ga ma da ni sa gama da re ga ma sa ni da ma ga re re sa sa ni da ma ga re re sa ni da ma ga re sa da ni sa da ni ma ga ma ga ma ga re ga sa sa da ni sa da ni ma ga ma ga ma re ga
Thank you, Proma, for performing for us. We really enjoyed your dance. So Proma, I would be asking you, but you can of course reply to us in Bengali, and I'll try to translate it for others. I know a little bit. আমি বাংলা বুঝতে পারি, একটুখানি বলতে পারি বি। আমি চেষ্টা করব কি আপনি যে বলেন সেটা ট্রান্সলেট করে আমি সবাইকে বোঝাবো।
দিদি আমার স্টুডেন্ট আছে, আমি কি তাকে দিয়ে বলাবো আমার যা বাংলা বলার, সে ট্রান্সলেট করবে?
আচ্ছা, সে আপনার পাশে কি আছে ট্রান্সলেট করার জন্য? আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, then it's very good. Okay then. So Proma, we know that Bangladesh is culturally a very, very vibrant nation. We of course love the Dhakai sarees. I love the Dhakai sarees. So is Odissi very popular in Bangladesh, and how do you see yourself playing a bigger role in promoting Odissi among the general population of Bangladesh?
নমস্কার, শুভ সন্ধ্যা। আমি প্রথমে কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাচ্ছি ওডিসি ওয়ান ওয়ার্ল্ড কর্ণধার সিদ্ধার্থ দা, আর সঞ্চালনায় যিনি আছেন মধুমিতা দি, আর সকল গুরুকে আমার প্রণাম।
I express my gratitude to all for giving me this opportunity.
আমায় জিজ্ঞাসা করা হয়েছে বাংলাদেশে ওডিসি নৃত্য চর্চাটা কেমন হচ্ছে। খুব জনপ্রিয় নাচ। তুমি একটু বলে নেই, বাংলাদেশে এই নাচটা প্রথম শুরু করেছিল ইন্ডিয়ান হাই কমিশনারের কর্মকর্তার স্ত্রী শানি মহাপাত্র।
Thank you for your answer. How is the practice of Odissi in Bangladesh? I'm very glad to say that Odissi is a very popular dance form in Bangladesh. And at first, Sani Mohapatra, being a part of Indian High Commission, started the practice of Odissi in Bangladesh.
তিনি প্রথমে শেখাতেন ঢাকায় বাংলাদেশের কয়েকজন নৃত্যশিল্পী, কয়েকটা আইটেম শিখিয়েছিল। তার মধ্যে হচ্ছে মিনু হক, শর্মিলা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়, তামান্না রহমান।
First, Sani Mohapatra started teaching Odissi to some eminent dance artists from Bangladesh, Minu Haq, Tamanna Rahman,
তো তারা এই নাচটা চালিয়ে যায়, কিন্তু আমি মনে করি কয়েকটা আইটেম জানা থাকলে একজন ক্লাসিক্যাল ডান্সার হওয়া যায় না। তাকে পরিপূর্ণ আইটেমগুলো, পরিপূর্ণ পর্যায়গুলো তাকে নিরবিচ্ছিন্নভাবে চর্চার মাধ্যমে শেষ করতে হবে।
I believe only learning the items is not enough for being a complete dancer. We have to know the gist and the basics of that dance form to be completely known to that form.
তো আমি পশ্চিম বাংলা থেকে, রবীন্দ্র ভারতী থেকে যখন আমি আমার ডিগ্রি অনার্স মাস্টার্স কমপ্লিট করে এলাম, তখনই চিন্তা করলাম যে না, ওডিসিটাকে আমায় ভালোভাবে স্ট্যাবলিশ করতে হবে অল ওভার বাংলাদেশে।
After I completed my study, honors and masters in Odissi from West Bengal, returning to Bangladesh, I decided to spread this dance form among the people.
আমি অনেক অনেক গুরুর সান্নিধ্য পেয়েছি বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে। তার মধ্যে হচ্ছে গুরু মুরলীধর মাঝি, গুরু কৌশালী মুখার্জি, তার পাশাপাশি গুরু কেলুচরণ মহাপাত্রের কাছে যখনই গুরুজি কলকাতায় ওয়ার্কশপ করার জন্য আসতেন, তখনই আমি গুরুর কাছে ডাক পেতাম, আর সমস্ত ওয়ার্কশপে আমি জয়েন করতাম।
I got the opportunity to learn from Guru Mondira Balkaransingh and many other teachers. And whenever Guru Kelucharan Mohapatra conducted the workshops, I went there. I got the call for the workshops, and I used to go there every time.
আমি আমার গুরু কৌশালী মুখার্জির কাছে এখন নৃত্য চর্চা করে যাচ্ছি।
I am still learning from my guru, Guru Koshali Mukherjee.
যেহেতু আমি বাংলাদেশে প্রথম ওডিসি নিয়ে পাশ করে এসেছি, আমার একটা বিশ্বাস ছিল এত সুন্দর একটা আবেগময়ী নাচ, তাল লয় ছন্দের নাচ, রসের নাচ, অভিব্যক্তির নাচ, একটা গ্রেটফুল নাচ আমি এখানে বাংলাদেশে সুন্দরভাবে এস্টাবলিশ করবো, যেহেতু আমি প্রথম বাংলাদেশে ওডিসি নাচটা নিয়ে পাশ করে এসেছি প্রাতিষ্ঠানিকভাবে।
I was the first one to learn Odissi academically. I had the responsibility to spread this dance form in other people, as this is a very graceful dance form. It is very expressive. It has a wonderful rhythm, grace, and divinity in it.
আমি তখনই আমার গুরুদের তত্ত্বাবধানে প্রায় 2.5 hour প্রোগ্রাম করেছিলাম, সোলো পারফরমেন্স, ঢাকা আর চট্টগ্রাম। সেটা হচ্ছে 2000 সালে আমি আমার এই প্রোগ্রামটা অ্যারেঞ্জ করেছিলাম।
In the year 2000, I conducted 2.5 hour program under the guidance of my coach.
বর্তমানে বাংলাদেশে উচ্চাঙ্গ নৃত্যের চর্চা খুব বেশি হয়, প্রতিদিন চর্চা তো আছেই, তার সাথে সাথে মণিপুরি, ভরতনাট্যম যারা শেখাচ্ছেন তারা বিভিন্ন বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে চাকরি নিয়ে এসে আমাদের বাংলাদেশে বিভিন্ন উচ্চাঙ্গ নৃত্যের চর্চা করে যাচ্ছেন।
Practice of classical dance forms is increasing day by day in Bangladesh. People are learning the dance forms academically and trying to teach here also.
Okay.
বাংলাদেশে এই নাচটা যখন অনেক বেশি জনপ্রিয়, সেটা একটা কারণ হতে পারে বাংলার সাথে অবিভক্ত বাংলার একটা বাংলা, আসাম, বিহার, উড়িষ্যা সব একই সাথে কাছাকাছি, ভাষাগত দিক থেকে কাছাকাছি, তাল লয় ছন্দের আছে, কোমলতার একটা বিষয় আছে, অর্থমূল্যের একটা বিষয় আছে। তো বাঙালিকে ভীষণ টানে, ভীষণ ভালোবাসে বাঙালিরা এই ওডিসি ডান্সটা। এই জন্যই ওডিসি ডান্সটা বাংলাদেশে ভীষণ জনপ্রিয়।
The reason behind the popularity of this dance form in Bangladesh is people in Bangladesh can relate to it very well. They have the connected origin, connected grace. They really like this dance form.
Okay.
আমার এই প্রতিষ্ঠানে প্রায় 300 স্টুডেন্টস আছে যারা বিশুদ্ধভাবে কৃষিটাকে চর্চা করে যাচ্ছে বাংলাদেশে, তার সাথে সাথে অস্ট্রেলিয়ায়, কানাডায়, আমেরিকা। আমার সব স্টুডেন্টসরা আমার এই নাচটা আমার কাছ থেকে শিখে গিয়ে এখন সব জায়গায় শেখাচ্ছে।
I feel very grateful that all my students in different parts of the world, Canada, Australia, are teaching Odissi in different parts of the world.
That's really wonderful, Proma. I think you're doing some tremendous work. And it was really, really nice to have you on our show and see your performance. So thank you so, so much. So, and wish you both the very best in whatever you do in the future. Okay, so now that we have seen the performances and really enjoyed them, let's come back to our gurus for a small chat. So I would like to say that we see a huge interest in dance in the younger generation. Though kids mostly are drawn into the hip-hop and Bollywood style dance, still classical dance has its own following and is growing by the day, but not at the pace that we want it to. I would like to open this question to both of you. So what should be done to make classical dance, and in this context, Odissi, more appealing to the youth and also to the parents so that they encourage their kids to take up Odissi? And secondly, how should young dancers train themselves so that they do justice to this ancient art form and become the rightful torchbearers and inspirations for the younger generation who are taking baby steps in learning Odissi right now? So I would first go to Guru Sharon Lowen.
I think Odissi is very much alive and well. I've seen wonderful performances both in India and outside. Yesterday here in San Diego, the inauguration of the Menge Museum, opening after a year and a half, had a really technically and aesthetically beautiful presentation of Kirvani Pallavi, which is very challenging Pallavi. And of course, Aruna Mohanty's Samsara, which is a choreography that's very accessible about stages of life, accessible east or west, without knowing any mythology. That was beautifully done. And I see that Odissi really is alive and well. And I'm always inspired by my guru, Guru Sharon Mohapatra's attitude that his teaching everyone who came to him, knowing that he would joke that they'll take the cassette, throw it over their shoulder, go back to Mumbai or wherever, have Belpuri. He said, the good will rise, and those who are wanting to learn something quickly, like Zofia was saying, somebody who learns for a couple of weeks, does an item, they won't last. It's not sustaining. You have to believe in the art and it will sustain. Generally, I don't think parents should push their children to learn anything. I think you should make it available to them. And I think that you want to take your children to see performances of as much as possible so they have a context of what is something of interest to them. And then make it available if possible. And then for students who are learning, I loved what Lakshmi Vishwanathan said in her last Monodharma festival. She said, it's the responsibilities of now that we have so much available on the internet to do the research yourself. You cannot expect a teacher who's with you for very few hours in a week to be able to give you everything that you need. Really rounded in understanding, not only technique, philosophy, poetry, music, aesthetics, history, etc. So you have to take personal responsibility for pursuing your passion. And an artist is someone who's constantly learning, not only their art, but everything in their life. Your life is half your reality. If you are just a technician, not an artist, you learn a skill to a certain level, and you can take part in group productions and have fun and dress up. But I think that the level of one's interest, the passion that one has to do it, to love the dance, to share the art, is something that depends on the individual. As Agnes de Mille said, if you have to ask who should be a dancer, the answer is no. But I think anyone who thinks that dance is a profession where you can earn a living, I think that those options are extremely limited. But there are ways to dovetail a professional career or a professional standard of dance along with whatever else one is doing in life, whether it's raising a family or pursuing other professions. And we see that today. We see so many artists that are able. It's not a question of you have to give it up or that you're not up to the mark. You can maintain your standards. So I think that Odissi is alive and flourishing, and that the cream will always rise to the top.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Thank you. So Ramli bhai, what's your take on this?
I think Sharon has said it, that Odissi is exciting and a classical form that is developed.
There's some kind of a noise coming, Ramli bhai, from your...
Oh, really? Let me see. It is better.
Yeah, now it's okay. Now it's good.
I think I agree with Sharon that Odissi is Academy, especially the dance we have now, that made the development of work, but I really think that for the young generation,
Still, your voice is... We can't hear you clearly, Ramli bhai. I think something...
Better now? Is it better now?
Yeah, now it's much better. Yeah.
as what Sharon is saying, that there's a lot of development, exciting development in Odissi, a lot of performances, and you can see it online. The good, bad, and indifferent are there all the time. So over time, the selective process will choose the good ones. There are some really exciting new works that is happening, because we cannot rely on just the pioneer gurus of Kelubabu and Deva Prasad or Pankacharan. New works have got to come to excite dancers, and these dance makers should not think that they are only doing it for Orissa, but also for places outside Orissa, because it is Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai are producing some very good dance makers in Odissi also, and they should welcome this. I think this is in addition what Sharon was saying, that only in Orissa that the male dancers are thriving. I think mainly because of the Gotipur tradition, because there are such wonderful male dancers, and teachers are creating good works, but I think sometimes a lot of them are doing works for the tourism industry in a big stage, the grooming and the cultivation of solo dancers are also very important, and I think taking into account what Sharon was saying about the internet, I think the Guru Shishya Parampara is also still one of the best ways to produce the artists. Still we have to produce artists like Sangeeta Panigrahi or Sonal Mansi, Sharon Lowen, or we haven't got really wonderful dancers, not only good in the dance, but also with a mind that with the kind of charisma that we had in the old days.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ramli bhai. Thank you. So with this, we come to the end of this episode of O Odissi One World. Two more artists from two different parts of the world will perform for us in the next episode. And they are Tara Chantal Gomez from Lisbon, Poland, and Mahina Khanum from Paris, France. Thank you to our gurus who have been extremely generous with their time, energy, and unstinted support. A big thank you to our online audience for joining us today and sharing us with your love and support as always. Hope you enjoyed watching this program as much as we did bringing it to you. On behalf of the O Odissi team, I would like to thank you all for the overwhelming appreciation and support that has come our way. Please keep writing in us, and we really appreciate your feedback and suggestions. Till we meet again, Namaskar and Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.